Hello guys, I'm here once again showing you how I sculpted this character in just 10 minutes or less. Let's go! So to start, I pick a reference from the Instagram page of the amazingly talented Nirvana. The link to the original artwork on his page is in the description. Then I throw in a subdivided cube for the head, pull down the chin, flatten the sides, draw in a crease for the back of the jaw, do some scraping to get the basic head shape looking kind of planar because I do like me some planes. Then I throw in a nice cylinder for the neck because that's the shape of the neck. And I throw in another subdivided cube which I shape into a torso or basically a bust using the move brush, or is it called the grab brush? I never remember. Then I throw in the reference in the 3D scene so I can overlay it and see if I can get the shapes to match. You don't always have to do this. Sometimes you can't even do it because there's a lot of cheating in 2D, but it's worth trying every now and then. Anyway, I try to shape the ears using the reference. I added some cylinders which I flattened for the ears before. Then I ended just switching to spheres for the ears because some days I feel one way, some days I feel another way, you know? Then to start with the hair, I throw in a single point, which I apply a skin modifier and a subdivision modifier too, which I can then extend into tubes of geometry that have a nice rounded end. I could have tried using curves, but it'd give me a flat cap, and I could attach balls to the end of the caps and merge, but that would be too much of a hassle. This is the best way I saw for this specific hairstyle. The basic idea here is just to block things out. Put basically a placeholder for each thing so we have an idea of what the character is looking like. We have the major shapes, the major parts, and even some of the hair that's framing the face. Then I go in to start finally forming some of the facial features. I use the clay strips brush to carve in the eye sockets. Then I throw another rounded cube which I sculpt in the place of her nose. I immediately delete that nose, then I add more resolution to the head so I could figure out some of the forms better, getting some planes, and even work on the ear a bit. Then I throw in some balls for the eyeballs, which I try to draw some eyelids over. It took me a while, but after playing in the mud for a bit, I eventually got something decent. And now on to the nose. We meet again, my old friend. So I use the clay strip brush to bulk up the nose, then I also use the crease and draw sharp on the sides to push it in. And I'm always moving around the nose. It's pretty easy to just sit in front of it or on the side and try to shape it into what you think it looks like. But you have to see it from all angles. You have to see how it comes out of the face and isn't just plastered on. You have to see like all the forms, you know? You just have to constantly rotate around your model. I scrape the sides of the face to split it from the front, you know, just to get those planes back in so I know what I'm looking at. I draw in the crease above the chin just also to help with the proportion, and then I go on to start adding in some clay and carving out some clay just to get the volumes very close to where I want them to be. Then I start figuring the mouth. If you see here, I was trying to line up the jawline and the crease of the mouth, which is a really nice guideline to use. So I start off by putting the end points. I try to line them up with the middle of the eyes most times, and then I draw on a crease in between. I scrape the top and then pull out the crease for the top, and I carve under the middle line. I did struggle a lot with the lips. Like I say, you can check out the full struggle on my channel, but yeah, it was quite a struggle, but eventually I ended up with something pretty decent at the end. Anyway, at this point I realized that there was some weird shapes, some wobbliness, unevenness, just some stuff that needed polishing and volumes to be added, cleanup to be done on the face. Now I added some viewport colors for the different objects and scene. Adding in some colors somewhat early also helps me see the proportions of the different parts separated by color. Take for example, we have the white eyes on the brown colored face. Because of the difference in colors, we can now see how the proportion of the visible eyeball relates to the rest of the face around it, you know? Then I polymodel some eyebrows, snapping them to the face. Then I remesh the ears at a higher poly count so I can add a bit more definition and clean them up a bit. Then I poly model some eyelashes to frame the eyes properly, like in the reference. Then I go on to make a bit more progress on the hair, duplicating the geometry that I already have and moving them around to kind of match the reference a bit. Later on in the process, when I finished up the hair, I eventually just winged it and just did my own thing. But I am glad I managed to get the practice in on an area that I'm not exactly the best at. So, yeah. Next up on the agenda was to work on the eyes. I applied different materials to the different parts, and then I modeled the iris to be a bit more vertical, like an oval, like in the reference. I also eventually modeled them so they're concave to be more, I would say, realistic in a way. Then I added a cylinder for the part of her earring that's on her ear, then a torus for the ring part. We go into painting the model. I'm just basically taking colors from the reference on the side. I'm not doing anything complex. I'm just using color attributes, basically vertex color. I painted the lips. I added a bit of kind of like line art, you know? And that is about it. We are done. So this is a fun one to work on. It was simple. I really love the reference. You should check out more of that specific artist, Nirvana. He is amazing. I hope you stick around and watch more of my videos. It's been nice having you over, and I want you to have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye-bye.